Hello and welcome back to the Great Lakes Disc YouTube channel. I'm Brian Papa Wolf Frawley, and today we're going to interview one of my favorite humans in the disc golf world, Dana Vicich from Discmania. Really a great MPO player through the last decade plus, 200 plus PDJ events, lots of history, and some inside knowledge from Discmania. Of course, stay tuned to the end to win this sweet Discmania hat and the signed Kyle Klein disc from Discmania as well. Without further ado. All right, and welcome back. Thanks again for tuning in to the Great Lakes Disc YouTube channel. Remember to like and subscribe. Here with me for the first time on the channel is my friend Dana Vicich from Discmania. How you doing today?
Doing good. This is a great way to start the week out here chatting with you.
I know it's fun to do these during the day and not at night. I feel like I have a little bit more energy, so maybe this will be our best interview yet. What do you think?
Safe to say.
Safe to say. So Dana, how did you get into disc golf?
So yeah, my disc golf origin story starts out like many others with the Frisbee. Sometime in high school, maybe 99, 2000, picked up a Frisbee and got into throwing it. And next thing you know it, we're throwing at objects. We're playing Frisbee golf. And then we see the Seinfeld episode, that's the Seinfeld era and the summer of George.
I'm going to play golf.
You mean golf?
Golf. Frisbee golf, Jerry. Golf with a Frisbee.
But my story, it gets a little interesting from there. So I was playing travel baseball and I was up in your neck of the woods, either in like Coldwater or Battle Creek, playing in what ended up being my last baseball tournament for summer baseball before going to college. And while I was there, went to the gas station or little shop next to the hotel, and there's a rack of discs, and I'm like,
yeah,
are you kidding me? What? And so one of my friends that like to play Frisbee, we bought a few discs, a Whippet and a Spider, both of the DX variety, and we ran out into the parking lot and tried to throw them, and it did not really work. And but I'll never forget it. Our one friend Chad ripped the sidearm, and it was just this beautiful S flight, and we were like, "Whoa, that's what these discs can do." And so tournament goes on, and we end up losing. Go home, and by coincidence, my hometown in Ottawa, Illinois, had just installed a 9-hole disc golf course. And
awesome.
So as one, let's say, chapter of my life closed, competitive baseball, wasn't going to play in college, a new one opened, disc golf. And I guess from, the month that I was home between baseball ending and going to college, I was down playing disc golf quite a bit, and then got to college, and from there, heard there was leagues and tournaments, and now we're over 20 years later, and I got a bunch of discs in the house and played all over the world and worked for a disc golf company, and yeah, pretty lucky guy.
Yeah, I think about how blessed I am to work in disc golf every day. I think it's wonderful. And I think back to that first time that I threw a DX disc, thinking it was going to fly like a Frisbee. And man, a Whippet, or I think mine was a T-Rex at the time. A T-Rex is the exact opposite of an ultimate Frisbee.
Yeah, you don't get much further.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. So when you do see that first forehand S line with something like that, it does kind of change your school of thought about how Frisbees can fly. And man, that was it back in the day. So you've got over 200 PDGA events, like 223, I think last time I looked. Do you have a favorite event that you ever went to or traveled to, or a favorite city you've ever hung out with? back in the day when you were on the quote unquote tour, the grind?
Yeah, definitely. While I know you're asking about the tour, I've got to start with a local Illinois State Championships. An Illinois State title is always something that I'm every year is on my radar, and that's here in the greater Joliet area. And I finally did in 2020 get my first state title after a number of seconds and thirds and fourths, fifths, everything, every number you could think of. So locally, Illinois State Disc Golf Championships is a great one, and part of the reason is that the old school, like the guys that started disc golf and grew disc golf here locally, and then the new school, they come together, and it's a celebration, and it's a prestigious title. But for the days when I was out and about on tour, there was a couple stops that I always looked forward to, and that would be one out in the Pacific Northwest, going to the Beaver State Fling, hanging out in Portland. One of my good friends from college lives there, so always would go and spend extra time. Shout out Steve, playing all the great local courses. There's just so many great courses, lots of good food, breweries. The coast is right there, the mountains. So, and then you get out to Milo, and it's just this paradise that you get to play disc golf in. And so that's always, Milo has a special place in my heart, and played Worlds out there, and that's actually the site of I think my best ever day of disc golf, and it was at Milo. And I don't know what the exact ratings or numbers were, but I shot the hot round on the day. We played 2 rounds, and I don't know, it was like 1050 or something like that. So Milo's got a special place in my heart for various reasons. And then we got to hop over to the other side of the country to Maple Hill, home of the Vibram Open. I mean, former home of the Vibram Open.
Right.
MVP Open. It's been the Maple Hill Open, whatever you want to call it. It's just a really special place to play disc golf, and I love the New Englanders. They're a different breed out there. They're just awesome people. Know how to have a good time, and what Steve has curated in Leicester is something pretty special. And so those are always a few, local one out in the west, one out in the east that I always looked forward to and would anxiously await the tour date drop to see when they were, and what other events were around them.
Yeah, I remember always looking to see, when my favorite ones were and what ones I could pick off that were near it. And our ships were very close. We almost crossed path at Memorial a few times, but every year that I would go, you didn't go, and things like that. It was always 2 ships in the night. But I heard some stories about you and Miles and Terry Miller down there.
Oh yeah, we had some good times, and oh man, start thinking back to the Smashbox days where we'd live podcast every night, and then even those early days of doing live and wandering around the course tethered to a camera. I occasionally would join Terry on the microphone and after my rounds, and occasionally I'd land on the other side of the camera, but for the most part I was chasing the lead cart around with the crew, and added in a few snarky comments here and there.
Yeah, nothing wrong with bringing a little entertainment. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
for sure. So you've obviously been around in the game a while. You've seen a lot of the change of plastic type and disc selection from 20 years ago to now. Do you have a favorite mold of all time?
I do, and this one goes back to my early days when I first joined Team Discmania and started working for the company. I found the CD2, and the very first one I can remember. I was out in the California warehouse and thumbing through discs, and they had these just beautiful CD2s. I can remember they had Huck Lab stamps on them, little mini Hucks, and you know, when you pick a disc up and you just know it's that disc, like I know this is the one, and that's been that disc for me. And ultimately the CD2, I was able to earn a tour series or a signature series, excuse me, disc. And I grabbed one with the Roaming Thunder 1 and the Roaming Thunder 2. So like here's the 1, which is a swirly CD2, and then
Yeah,
my
buddy.
favorite flyer, the Roaming Thunder 2. So it's just a great disc that you can throw really far, and I feel like the window for nose angle is very wide. So if you miss your angles, whether it's nose up or whatever, it was a really forgiving mold, and still is. It's we've since retooled it, and it's now the CD1. So the CD2 of the old Discmania days is more or less the CD1 that you can go buy on your shelf today.
Yeah, that's great inside information for someone that sells frisbees all day. So thank you for that. That's cool for me to know. So you mentioned it. Obviously, you're here talking on behalf of Discmania. So how did you get involved with Discmania?
Yeah, so I don't remember what year it would have been, but definitely probably around 2015, 2016, I started to uh, message UC, UC Maresma, Discmania founder, and say, hey, I like what you're doing. I'm interested in, you know, when you guys are expanding, I'm interested in working with you or whatever it is. And I didn't hear anything back. And then I stayed persistent, and then ultimately finally got a response from UC and said, yeah, let's meet at the St. Jude event that he was going to be at. He designed the course, and his right-hand man in the States, Erno, was there. So I had a meeting with those guys, and we kind of talked about disc golf and the future and everything. And at that time, they were working on expansion plans into the United States with Disc Golf Park, which is our Discmania's course solution, and then obviously Discmania discs. So didn't immediately start working that day, but stayed in contact, and then ultimately, I think eight years ago or so, I started on as a disc golf park course designer and rep for the company. And then when we took over distribution from Innova, I joined as a part-time and remote employee here from Illinois, and yeah, been with the company ever since. And you know, through the ups and downs and all the changes, and yeah, it's been quite the ride, and a good one, I would say.
Yeah, that's awesome, and way to stay persistent. That's one of my big advice things that I tell my kids, and I think that that's awesome. So, like, what's your current role with Discmania now?
So I still do design and sell courses through Disc Golf Park, and when those are the good days out in the woods, wandering around finding lines. But my normal hat that I'm wearing is Discmania USA sales manager.
Okay.
So my main focus is on the wholesale side of the business. However, just as a general, anything sales related at Discmania. So working with our direct to consumer team, our wholesale, and then Avery Jenkins, who runs our disc golf park operation here in the States. So yeah, a little bit of everything sales wide, but with the focus on the Discmania wholesale channel.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You got to get frisbees out there to retail stores like Great Lakes Disc, amongst other various great places. So you know, Discmania has gone through its shifts, its changes, its growth, I guess is maybe a better way to put it. Over my time in the sport, what is something that the average person doesn't know about Discmania that they should?
Yeah. I'm going to say two things. One, just because I've been talking about it, is Disc Golf Park. So we own and operate Disc Golf Park, which is basically a turnkey solution for disc golf courses.
Okay.
And come in and work with communities or private entities to find the right space for a course, the right kind of course, and then design it. And then we can ultimately install it as well. But the goal there is to establish a course and do it right the first time. So it's got signage, it's got good tees, it's safe to play, whether you're a disc golfer or you're just another park user. So that's probably one of the biggest things that I think a lot of people don't realize is Disc Golf Park is Discmania. And then the other one is we're a really small team at Discmania. We do a lot with a little, but we've got some just great people working for the company. Austin Montgomery, our director of operations here in the United States, has done a great job in conjunction with our management in Europe to put together just an amazing team. We're more than just employees. We're more than just disc golfers. We are a really close-knit, tight group of people. And even me here from working remotely, where I don't get the FaceTime with everybody day to day. It's just a small but mighty team of really good people. So, and when I say small, I'm talking like 20 to 25 people in the States. And
that's crazy.
Yeah, and the majority of that would be on the fulfillment in the warehouse side of things. So, shout out to my boys in Wellington, Colorado, from our hot stamper, Stamp God, to the boys in the finance team and everybody pulling the orders, to product management. We've just A plus humans, and I think that's important. Or for me, that's important to work with good people and to have a quality brand that you can rally around and feel good about talking about and selling and throwing.
Yeah, I will say that, obviously I've opened a lot of boxes of Frisbees in my day. The one thing I really always have appreciated about Discmania is when they send out something that's about to drop, it is so clear and concise what time it's supposed to drop, what day it's supposed to drop, and it's right on the box. I can't mess it up. It's great. It's idiot proof. You know what I mean?
We want to make it easy because we know that you're buying from countless other disc golf manufacturers and brands, and it can be tricky to keep up with the release dates and the MSRPs and the maps and everything. So we want to make that easy on you and your team, because maybe you place the order, but you're on vacation next week. That next person up should be able to grab that box and have all that information there, and not put the Cosmic Fury 2 up for sale a couple days early.
Yeah, that's definitely something that we got to watch out for in our industry. So I know that you are on the sales side and the course installation side, but whenever I've got somebody in the industry and we're chatting, I got to ask a little bit about the player management side and the player personality side. So obviously, Discmania fans local to Grand Rapids know Kyle Klein. Kyle Klein is becoming a name out on tour. You signed Gannon Burr, who's obviously a name as well. And then Ella, one of my favorite personalities in the sport. Just can't help but cheer for her. Who else is on Team Discmania that we should be, as fans of disc golf, looking out for here in 2024?
Yeah, well, obviously there's a lot of noise during the off season, and then coming into the start of the season with players switching and everything. And I don't know, somehow we got younger. Signed obviously Gannon, Alden, but there were some other really good signings as well. I'd like to highlight locally an up and comer, Lexi Marks. She's got a ton of talent. Has been playing advanced just last year, kind of bumped up towards the end of the year to play open or FPO. And so she's someone to keep an eye out for. When you talk Discmania, we've got a lot of MPO players, but we've got some great up and coming FPO players, and Lexi is one of those. And then Silas Schultz, he's a ton of fun to watch. His content is great. Speaking of content, Chase Cooper. He's making some really cool content at Chase Cooper DG. Check him out on Instagram. He's been someone that I've just started following, and really compelling, interesting content on there. That's a lot of fun to watch. We've got players up in Canada like Julian Quinville, just an A+ human. He's up near Quebec, designs courses for us as well. But if we start talking about the big dogs, Alden, I'm really excited to see what he can do for us. And speaking of content, he's got a great YouTube channel. It's going to be a ton of fun to follow along, like with the shenanigans and all the fun that that little crew has. Which I just have to say it's a great time for disc golf and for fans. And I'm thankful for some of these players out there that whip out the camera and put out content and not just the same old. So I'm excited for the start of the season. We had Ella just this last weekend. She was contending for the win, finished in second, and then on the men's side, is it 3 or 4 in the top 10? Somewhere around there. So
I think 4 in the top 12, if I remember correctly.
Okay, 4 in the top 12. All right, so 3 in the top 10, 4 in the top 12. Pretty good stuff. And then I know Casey White was up there in the mix as well. But watching a player like him, or like Gavin Babcock, like I think Gavin is really, I think that's somebody we're going to see. We've seen him on lead cards. We've seen him pop off. He's gotten that experience where I think now this year is the year where he's truly going to be in contention. He might not get a win, but I think we're going to see him on a lot more lead cards and not just popping up on the leaderboard and then finishing inside the top 10, 20. I think we're going to see him inside the top 5. Elbow and Gannon and Kyle and the rest of those great players for spots on the podium.
Yeah, I think that's great, and I love that you brought up some names. As a guy that sits on social media all day, Lexi Marks is a great person. We'll link some of those names that Dana just dropped, below, so that you can check out their Instagrams. You can follow along with what's going on. Of course, we'll put a link to Disc Golf Park too, so you can learn more about bringing courses to your neck of the woods. So we thank you for that. It would behoove us now, though, to do a giveaway. So please remember to like and subscribe. Maybe tell a friend. We've got 3 things to give away. That's 1 more than normal, thanks to Dana coming with his own giveaway. So Dana, why don't you go first with your giveaway, and then I'll bring up mine.
All right, so we've got the Cosmic Fury 2. Sorry for the lighting there, but Kyle Klein's next signature disc, which is dropping this week, Brian?
Yes, it is dropping this week. Depending on when this releases, it may have already dropped. Congratulations to Kyle.
Yeah, we'll use some dates. It's dropping late Wednesday, February 28th. So if it's out there, you should check it out. And this particular version of the Logic, I liked the first one, but this one, and this is not me just trying to hype and sell Frisbees, but this one is really good. The glow on these is tremendous. It's metal flake lumen. So there's metal flakes in here, and lumen is our glow in the Evolution line. But the Cosmic Fury 2 came out with the shoulder just a little bit smaller, so a little bit more comfortable in the hand, and then ultimately the flight just a little bit more pure in what I was hoping for when the Cosmic Fury 1 came out. So I definitely definitely recommend trying one of these out. And I know glow season is kind of over right now, but you can glow any time of the year. So
Yeah, for sure.
so glow it up, and if you want to win this, do what Brian says.
So we'll call that the first place prize. The second place prize would be this Discmania authorized dealer hat. You don't even have to be an authorized dealer to look like Dana. You can just win this one. And third place, we got a Kyle Klein signed glow Shogun, I believe, from his wonderful stock here at Great Lakes Disc. So we're going to ask, we talked about traveling and going to good breweries or finding a good food spot below. So your comment, all you have to do is enter either your favorite hamburger topping or your favorite type of item you would get at a brewery. You decide what that is. So either one, that gets you entered. And about 3 weeks after this video is released, we pull random winners off of those comments. And we appreciate everyone, just like we appreciate Dana stopping by today. Thank you so much for your time, my man.
Hey, thanks for having me. Tell everybody at the shop I say hello. I look forward to come visiting you this summer.
Heck yeah, we're going to get around in. I'm going to force you. 7 a.m. tea time. We'll do it.
My man.
All right. Well, thank you again, everyone. And remember to like and subscribe. Until then, see you later.